Good morning, Diana.
Good morning, Nupi. So nice
Oh,
to see you. How are
I'm
you?
I'm very good, thank you. I'm a bit tired this morning. I think it's just been a bit of a busy one recently. Your voice, I can really hear your voice.
I know. I'm gonna try to let you speak more because I've had this,
No
on
problem.
and off laryngitis, but I'm excited to be here. But because we have such a good
Oh,
guest today
I
that we
know.
really wanna just get in
Yes.
there and start talking to him because he's just amazing.
Yes, definitely, definitely. So, very quickly, thank you so much for joining us for episode 11 of Supernova Sisters, Physicians in Motion. Oh, yeah. I'm hashtag Physessence, Dr. Nupi Aurora, the glitter practitioner. For those of you who don't know me, I'm a GP, family physician in the UK, and I'm also a spiritual and transformation life coach, soon to be author of a book called, which I'm sure everybody, I've been talking about this so much constantly, it's Be with Bells On. And I've lost my train of thought now. Aha,
Yeah.
yes, I have. Thank you. And I'm absolutely passionate about whole person, heart centered care. And what I mean by that is using my F list framework, which is something I created having gone through burnout myself, having recovered to become the burnout warrior that I am. And that was 12 years ago. But from that came this framework, which is everything I learned for myself. And that's what I absolutely love to share with my patients, my clients. And it's all about your whole self health needs, understanding what they are, owning them, knowing your worth, and absolutely living the life that you can and are meant to. So that's me very quickly in a nutshell. Diana, tell everybody a little bit about you.
Yeah, thank you. So I'm a urologist, Los Angeles, really here to promote physician wellness. And that's why I founded physiciancoachsupport.com. It's a free confidential platform for any physician to come and get peer-led support by another physician who's also a life
Mm.
coach, just to help you whenever we're going through any challenge, you don't know where to turn, confidential, obviously not reported. And really, we just want to support you and use our coaching skills to sort of help you get out of that funk. So that's why we're here to really promote wellness. We know burnout is real, it affects us. And we just like to bring great guests to really inspire others, of like, what else can we do? And that's why we are bringing our great guest today, Dr.
Absolutely.
Harvey Castro, because he's going to really talk about all the things we can do,
Yeah.
just by having an MD. And, just speaking to him, it's just been inspirational, just in the green room right now.
Yeah, it
He's
really is.
Colombian background, just really seeing him thrive as an entrepreneur. So I just want to bring him in and he can
Let's
tell us
bring him
all the
in. Absolutely. Come on down, Harvey.
Hello, hello. Thank you so much for having me, guys. Appreciate it.
Hi. Oh, good morning. It's so lovely to see you again.
Good
Thank you for
morning.
coming on.
Yes, thank you. So, I mean, I really want to have people just get excited and inspired about like all the things we can do. And, we briefly mentioned, you're an ER physician in Texas, but you've just done so many things, including obviously your book that you have there we'll talk about. But, kind of walk us through how you just start as a ER physician and you transition to this huge entrepreneurship where you really built so many companies in different niches. And how was that process, and why did you even consider that?
Well, I honestly think it's all having a what I call a strong why. All
Mm,
of us do stuff for a reason, and for me, that why was a strong one. Just to go quickly into my background, I grew up in a humble beginning in New York City. We were in poverty. I was a latch kid, key kid, and I think not having really pushed me to really work hard. And so I joke with my mom all the time, and she hates when I say this, but I tell her, "Thank you for brainwashing me." Because at age, when I was a little kid, she kept telling me I could be a doctor, I could be the president of the United States, and I believed it wholeheartedly that this
Oh,
was going to happen.
yeah.
And so, in my journey to become a physician, I knew early on that emergency medicine was not going to be something that I could do into my 60s, 70s, that it was just too hard. But I didn't want to do any other profession but emergency medicine because it just seemed exciting. And the fact that you could help people and save their lives or be part of that, I just thought was amazing. And so early on, I thought, I need to always think outside the box. And it's been crazy because of my strong why. As soon as the iPhone came out, I was one of the first physicians to publish it's called IV Meds at the time, and it was a IV medication app, and it actually hit the top 10 in the whole world.
Wow.
Since then, I've just constantly been always pushing, and I think that strong why pushed me to go back to school and get my MBA. Again, it's just wanting to do more. And it's funny because my wife always tells me I have an octopus brain and I don't stop. I appreciate her for putting up with my mind and putting up with my dreams.
Oh,
But yeah, it's great to have her as my teammate in all this.
oh my gosh, that's amazing. I remember when we spoke a couple of weeks ago, whenever it was, I was blown away and I was like, oh my gosh, I knew nothing of all this. Digital and technology is really not my forte. It's not my skill strength. But I remember when we were talking, when you were recognizing that I love what I do as a physician. However, I recognize this is not something I don't want to do this for the rest of my life. And for the reasons of, the healthcare system, et cetera. And it reminded me of a time a few years back before I actually pivoted in my career. I remember being at the hairdressers and I'd started to get rumblings of, I think I need to expand, do something differently, or start reducing in clinics and then do something outside. And I remember Googling, I had no idea. What can a GP do? What other things is what I Googled. And the only thing that really came up was a website, Medic Footprints, which is about entrepreneurial work and this, that, and the other. But my point being, you're so focused on medicine, and I really genuinely thought, I don't really think there's anything else I could do. You don't see how your skills can be transferable until you kind of do it or have an idea. And that's why we thought it was brilliant to have you on today, because I'm sure, I'm not saying people to leave medicine, but be aware of what your options are, is what I would say.
Agreed. I'm in digital healthcare right now, and I love that space because I do feel like it's the future of medicine, and I get to still help patients. I'm just helping patients differently. And so I'm able to use my background as a physician and combine it with my business side and entrepreneurship and just help do things a little bit different that companies kind of appreciate me doing. So it's been fun because I feel like at the end of this, I'm still helping patients just differently.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
And
you really have
sorry.
the digital health part. And you also, like, you started, like you said, like 7 ERs, and you had like your company, like 350 employees. You had vitamin companies. I mean, you've really like done all these different, things. I mean, apart from your why, like you wanted to help people and do something different. I mean, who helped you? Did you have mentors, or how did you kind of go about like realizing how to start this? Was it your MBA training? Was it speaking to people? How did you get into, all these different niches?
Yeah, that's a good question. Honestly, I'm very self-driven. And my kids ask me the same thing, like, how do you learn the stock market? Or how are you doing option trading? Or how are you doing all this? And honestly, I just love to read and stay active. I think I fulfilled the life learning experience as a doctor that I'm like, I'm gonna apply this to everything. And so things that I don't know, it's almost like a challenge. Like I need to learn it. And if I'm really bad at it, then I need to make it a priority. And obviously, I do have mentors. Ironically, my MBA came after the ERs came about 2 years ago, and I had done all these companies by then. And I felt like I had a street MBA, but I wanted to have the book knowledge, and that to coincide. And I think to answer your question, the main thing is just having mentors. I think my first mentor obviously was my mom. And then through life, as we go through med school, having certain doctors that reflect and really touch you in a way that you see how they're loving on their patients. And you're like, wow, I want to be like this doctor. And then later in life, when you have your different businesses or different stages in your life, you start seeing people that really open your eyes. So that's it, the mentor part.
Wow. I was just thinking then, it's could be wrong, but you seem to me somebody who's very open, very authentic, obviously, but it's this curiosity. You want to know more, and it's this thirst for understanding, and that's deeper. You're just looking at all different options. So I think that's fantastic. I really do.
Yeah.
It's lovely to hear, actually. I always find it fascinating when I meet other physicians who have done something completely different, but still, maintaining, I guess, the skill sets as well. What's what you bring into doctoring? It's, business, be it a business, be it doctoring, be it whatever. It's all about connection, essentially, isn't it? And it's about your connection with yourself and with the other people around you.
Yeah, and I love too. I mean, you were such a big, you know, really giving back, because you really have been featured in so much TV, and these spots when you're in TV, Telemundo, Univision, you're usually not paid for these, but it's really to give back to the community, to really educate them, depending where you are. And I've done things on the Spanish TV too, but it's really like to help educate them and get rid of the stigma of going to the doctor or screening. And it's so important to speak to in their language and their level of education, to really just help them realize like this stuff is important, and we really need to take care of our health, that they may be not understanding sometimes, depending of language barriers, let's say. So I just love that not only have you done so much in growing companies, but like also just really giving back with education and promoting for the community in Texas with everything you've done.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I believe as a physician, we all have this passion to help others. It's kind of in our DNA. And I feel like we're so blessed with so many talents. We're blessed to have that physician behind our last name. And it's like, wow, so why not give those talents to others? Why not share it with others? And the best part of life is we can learn everything, but we're never good at anything. And so that's the humbling truth. And so, my wife and I have all these deep discussions, and I love it because she challenges me and makes me think about things that I never would have thought of. And, having the MD, she jokes with me because she'll ask me medical questions, and sometimes I just don't answer them. I pretend I'm not a doctor. She's like, look, I know you know the answer to this. And then it's kind of fun. But on the entrepreneur side, I love it. I love what you guys are doing. I hope it motivates others out there to give back to the community. Oh, and that was one thing I wanted to say. You don't have to give to the masses. You have people right around your circle, your kids, your loved ones, even though my mom's giving me a lot, I feel like now I have, there's mutual respect, but now I'm trying to help her and open her eyes to certain things. And it seems weird to help your mom, but I'm trying to be obviously respectful, but to help my mom and have her look at things differently as well.
Yeah, it doesn't seem weird to me at all. I think that's beautiful, actually. It really, really is.
Yeah, and I love how you say, like, you don't even have to help the masses. It made me think of even like our sort of power, or our influence we can have like in local schools, like just going to a school to really influence kids to get excited about medicine or science, and like that can really have a big impact. And we don't think about it often, but it really the little kids get really excited, and that could be the one time that they get exposure to somebody that maybe looks like them, or like they never thought about it, and it can get them excited. So I love how you said that, because we really have so many avenues we could do things to give back and influence and empower little kids too.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about, I can see your book, Success Reinvention. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So again, I feel blessed to have had all these businesses and being taught so many things. So I thought, one is leaving a legacy for others. And so obviously I wrote the book with the intention for my kids. I figure, as a parent, you tell your kids things, but if your neighbor says the same thing, they'll listen to your neighbor, but they won't listen to you.
Totally.
So
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
why not write a book that later when they have kids and they see life differently, they'd be like, oh, let me see what my dad had to say. And then they read it. They're like, oh my gosh, wow, he should have told me this, but I probably did.
He did, but we didn't listen.
Yeah.
So that was my goal, to kind of share my personal stories of how I got to where I'm at and kind of motivate. The key is, like Diana said, just to motivate people, to help people get to that next level. And I figure if it helps one person and they read the book and they're like, holy cow, yes, then the book was a success in my eyes.
Absolutely. Yep. And that's exactly, to be honest, that's how Diana and I came together for this show as well. those are my words. It's to uplift, it's inspiring, and it's empowering somebody else through perhaps your own journey. And your own story is so important. If something that you've come through, it can help somebody else, and that's that learn, heal, grow, evolve, and pass it on cycle. And I think that is so important, because it just becomes a ripple effect then. And I know, and it's funny because my F list, I've actually said it. I've gone into schools and done a sort of an inspirational talk kind of thing, and my kids have come up to me afterwards, and they were like, because all their friends were like, "Oh yeah, mummy, that was really good." They've been saying to me, "Oh yeah, I really like that now. Can you show us again?" And I'm like, "Yeah, you weren't interested in it before, were you?" It's hilarious. It's and I can see them, it's changing, but yeah, it's great.
Yeah, and I love, that leaving that legacy for kids and for others. I mean, it's like a timeless, like it's going to be there forever, the book. And then you can always pick up the skills, but you also have the book, but you also in your website, you have these modules that people can purchase that, help you with strategies to really get to that, next step. We'll put in the show notes, but like at your website, Harvey Castro, md.info, you really have, really affordable modules to, really get you to think about these things, start dreaming, start reinventing, and I love that you have that so accessible for people. Instead of spending thousands on, coaching, which is really what it is, they can access it very easily. Tell us about that. Like, how did you come up with doing this for others as well? I mean, it's another thing that you're doing with all
I
your
know. I'm like,
millions.
where'd you get
I'm
your
glad you brought
ideas
that
from?
up. I am actually looking for a foundation to kind of take it and embrace it. So I've been hitting a lot of the minority organizations to see if they will take this digital course and make it part of their organization. Again, the whole goal is to help others. And I figure, why not use these talents for others? So, if I see, obviously my kids or teenagers or people that I feel like, okay, they need a little help, I offer them the course. I'm like, hey, here's the course. It's free. I want to help you out. Like, let's get this done. And so it's more of a tool that I created. And I figured, why not have it? Again, I was thinking, you and I, we're used to books, but younger kids are more into 1 minute or videos. So I figured, let me do a digital course, and then let me make it like modules so they can, like, take minutes here and there. And that's kind of why I made it.
Yeah, no, it's nice. It's really tapping into just a different way to learn that some people
Yeah.
pick up the information
Mhm.
and easy. And, it's just nice to have things that you could do in your own time and that you can just get to it when it works for you. But just really giving you some of those skills, some of those tools to really get you, like how to reinvent yourself, how to celebrate your wins, and just really like get to that next step when you're not sure how to get there. I think that's really great.
Yeah, thank you.
I'd want to know, Harvey, if to our viewers who may be listening, and if not live, then on replay, what would you like them to take away from our discussion today? Maybe a couple of tips or your top tips.
Yeah.
I'm going to write it down as well.
That's a hard one, but I think at the end, especially entrepreneurs, don't be scared of failing. I know that a lot of us have amazing ideas, and I'm actually doing a talk on entrepreneurship. Is it environmental or is it genetics? That's coming out in March. But the skinny is, I would say, I'm always meeting different people, and they tell me, "Oh my gosh, I had that idea, and now someone else did it," or things like that. And I constantly say, "Well, why didn't you do it?" I'll never forget. I met a physician. He was 72 years old. He had a whole book of brilliant ideas, and I was going through it. I'm like, dude, you need to like start doing these. He's like, I'm just scared of failing. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I was going through the book. I'm like, dude, one of these ideas you could have retired. Like, you need to like do it. I know you feel like you can't, like you're too old, but I was like, no, it doesn't matter as long as you do it. And so my other tip is the productivity ladder is what I call it. Look at life as a ladder. It's an infinity ladder, and you never get to the top, but you're always going up that ladder. And it doesn't matter how fast, it just matters that you're going up the ladder.
Yes, I love that. taking one step at a time. Love it.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
a huge, I mean, entrepreneurship. I mean, yeah, I think as physicians, we don't like to fail, right? Like it's very challenging because
Yeah.
if you fail, then you're gonna get the wrong diagnosis.
Mm,
Patients may be harmed. So it's like you never, and your brain is like can
Yeah.
never fail perfection.
Yes.
Which in entrepreneurship, it's like, yeah, you try things out and it doesn't work, and then you have to pivot or do something different or
yep.
get new people in, and it's just kind of part of it. But it makes physicians, I think, really
Yeah.
uncomfortable because we're not used to it. We've been
Mhm.
trained for so long to like, kind of not fail or never be expected to, or just be
Yeah.
such a small part of what we do, or not do. And so, I think it's just getting wrapping your mind around the fact that that's just part of it, and
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
gonna fail, and you may have to switch so much. And in your companies, you've had so many companies. I mean, you currently have these companies still, or you sold
No,
these?
I basically sold all my companies. And
Oh,
now I focus more on being an advisor for other companies. I figure there's so many startups that
Mm,
need experienced
yeah.
physicians and doctors and sorry, business owners to help them see mistakes that I made so that they don't make it. Some of it seems real basic, but because we've done it and we've made those mistakes, but for others, they haven't seen that, so it's new
Yeah.
for them. You
Yeah.
made me think of 2 things. One, I gave a lecture on the top reasons why physicians, specifically physicians, tend to fail, and one of them is exactly what you said. We are so used to we can't make any mistakes. It's all perfection. And the other part of it is we work so hard to get our MD or DO
Mm,
that once we get there, I feel like some physicians just stop. They just say, "Okay, I made it," and they stop having goals. They stop having long-term dreams because in their mind they made it, and I always challenge, and that's why the name of the book is called Reinvent Yourself or Success Reinvention, is to reinvent yourself, to constantly stay sharp,
yeah.
and have that hunger, just like you had that hunger to get that professional degree, have that hunger still today.
Yeah.
And the second thing, and I'm horrible with sayings, but you made me think of what Thomas Edison said, and basically he said like he found a way of failing at 100 or 1,000 light bulbs, but finally he got it right. And
Yeah.
that's how I feel like entrepreneurship is.
Yeah.
You're gonna try it 1,000 times, but eventually you'll get there. You just can't give up.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I think failing is how we learn. It is exactly that. And I use an acronym of FAIL as first attempt in learning. And every time you learn a little bit more, it becomes a bit clearer. And actually, in medicine, I know, it's almost fear-based. You don't want to get it wrong because something might detrimentally happen either to your patient. That's the right
Mhm.
reason to be very wary of this, or litigation.
mm,
And, so you're constantly, oh, I must do this. And at the end of the day, I think if you're true to yourself, be it in medicine, be it as a business, be it an entrepreneur, you have done what you can in that time, at that time, to the best of your ability.
Mhm.
It's about facing uncertainty as well, because, we don't know it all as medics. We're never going to know it all. We have clues, we can put things together, same as an entrepreneur. You don't know for sure this is going to work, but you try it anyway. You use your skill sets and you go for it anyway. And then you learn from it. You learn from each. It's reflective practice at the end of the day. And I think that is the key here. And not being afraid, fear in itself is just going to keep holding you back. It's being curious to go, okay, what could I have done a bit differently? What can I do taking this forward? How can I implement this in a different way? And I think it's a crossover. It's exactly the same. If you think about it like that, it's exactly the same.
Yeah. I do want to share one quick tip for all the people listening. I know there's a lot of entrepreneurs listening, and I know the hard part is you get motivated, but you just don't know where to start. Um, Especially if you're a physician or in healthcare, I'm going to challenge you to look at the whole patient experience and divide it into before seeing the patient, during the time you're seeing the patient, and then after. Break it up into those 3 categories and see what fits your personality, where you feel you're the strongest. And then start exploring problems, pains in society. What is hurting people in that they hate going to the doctor or they hate looking at after the experience, they don't get good discharge instructions. And then that look at that as a problem and then see
Mhm.
how you can create a solution to that problem. And that might be your next company.
Great.
Yeah, I mean,
I love it.
that's amazing. I mean, it's like, yeah, what is the pain problem? What is the pain point?
Hmm.
And find that solution. And then, yeah, divide it into the before, during, or after
Mhm.
to see what resonates. I think that's so needed, because there's so many places where I think efficiency could be better. Just quality could be better. The whole experience can be better. And we're so used to doing it a certain way because that's the way we do it. But we
Mhm.
really need that curious mind of like, why don't we do it differently, or why are we still
Absolutely.
doing it this way? And I think that's probably where you came up with all these app ideas and all these things
Hmm.
to really make things better. Just because we did it this way from the dinosaur age, it doesn't mean we have to continue to do it, and just do things differently, stay curious, have that hunger for knowledge and efficiency. And I think that's a great way to also stay out of burnout too, when you're
Yeah.
excited about something,
Oh yeah.
you're looking forward to how does this work, learning stuff, that really gets you out of bed to really be like, oh, how does this work, how can I figure this out? So I think that's it can really be a cure, a treatment, something to look forward to for people that are feeling stuck and not
Hmm.
excited anymore in medicine, get you out
Yeah.
of that.
And
Mind,
and
body,
and that's a
lifestyle.
perfect transition because I wanted to chat about chat GPT and healthcare. The skinny is it I don't make any money at all from it. My goal was sincerely just to motivate and inspires others out there to say, you know what, there is a problem and I see how this technology or something similar can help healthcare. And obviously I'm not getting any younger, so I figure eventually I'm going to be able to benefit from these ideas and these things that are created, so that when I'm retired and when I'm older, you guys out there will be inventing things that are going to help us all.
I
And
love
that's
it.
my mission.
Fantastic. Thank you. So I could talk to you for hours. Seriously, I could listen to this. I think we just need to have you on again because my mind is pinging with ideas and I want to check in with you. Harvey, very quickly, just let everybody know, just before we wrap up, how they can get hold of you.
Yeah, I'm on all the social media. It's the same. It's Harvey Castro MD, and I'm mainly on LinkedIn. So if you feel free, follow me. And I post tons of fun stuff. I post a leadership video this morning, actually. So please follow me.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. And any last bits that you'd like to say to our audience?
No, the last thing, as always, is just be grateful for the people around you. I know I don't want to sound morbid, but as an ER doctor, I always think worst case scenario. So you always gotta just live every day to
Yeah.
the fullest. Love the
Yeah.
people around you that support you, and love on them back. And just I'll leave you with that last message to just make sure you make today as your best day.
Oh, what a gorgeous way to start the morning. Thanking you. Well, afternoon. Thank you so much. Don't go anywhere. We'll come and join you back in the green room as well. Oh, that was just, I love that. I just feel it's like, oh, so lovely.
So many pearls, just like,
I know.
being curious. Don't give up when you're just, finish your degree. Like,
Yeah.
stay curious to learn, to reinvent,
Yeah.
to like, and then the ladder. I love the idea of the
Yeah.
ladder. That was such
Yeah.
a pearl.
I've seen that recently actually, and I loved it. It was just know you're going up. You're constantly
Mhm.
going up. That's the main thing. I would actually add in, and don't forget to have apart from unless you're scared of heights, don't forget to have a look around and look at the view. The higher you get, your view is expanding. It's all about perspective again. Otherwise, you're just so focused on going up, you miss out present.
And how much you've traveled. And I think
Yes,
also if you go up, I think you're gonna come
yes,
down, but you keep going. So
yeah. So
yeah,
many things with that ladder. I love it. Thank you, everybody, for. I'm seeing all these comments. It's
I know.
fantastic.
I'm seeing Catherine's on here,
I know.
Annie, really
Annie
talking.
Lee, thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, for joining us.
Yolanda, yeah. Thank you
So,
for joining us, and really, I hope you connect with Harvey. He's just so humble, so sweet, and
yes,
like
yes.
he really is humble about all the stuff he's done, and it's just so amazing.
I
To
didn't know
see,
about his books when I was
yeah,
chit chatting
2
away to
books,
him. Oh, yeah,
so many companies, apps,
I
really
know.
giving back to the community and just really, this drive to help others and
Yeah.
to do better. It's so refreshing. I mean, it
Yeah.
really starts the day, and then being grateful.
Yes.
Because when you're in the ER, you see bad things all the time, and you don't have to be in the ER to realize that. But
Yeah.
like it could be your last day. You never know, so you want to
Oh my
be
God.
grateful and just be know that
Touch
we.
wood.
Yeah.
I don't want
Well,
this to be my last day. I've got an empire to build. I've got
okay.
you with bells on. Oh,
Well, you
but
just never
I
know.
know you don't know what's going to happen around the corner.
Yeah.
I totally agree with you. Definitely. So Diana, listen, well done. I know you've been really super croaky today. Bless you. Honey and lemon and gargles with salt water and put a bit of eucalyptus oil. Quick tip.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Ruby.
No problem. No problem.
Mhm.
Tell everybody how they can get hold of you.
Yeah, just always here on LinkedIn or, go to my website, DianaLondonioMD.com. But just really check us out. If you're a physician, a physician that is having a hard time, feels stuck, overwhelmed, feeling burned out, wants to talk to somebody confidentially, check us out at physiciancoachsupport.com. We're there 7 days a week via Zoom. It's super easy and really just to get you to a path to start to feel better and get you out of the funk. And again, we're there because we care, because you matter, because you affect so many lives, including your own, family, but all the people you touch. So, get help, get support. We're there for you.
Oh, beautiful. And one last word for our viewers. What would you like to leave them with?
Today?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I think Harvey's thing about gratitude is so important. I
Okay.
think that's the main thing, just start your day with gratitude. And I heard recently, like for resentment, when people are feeling resentment, it's like gratitude per hour, like every hour you gotta,
Yeah.
be grateful to really get you out of like
Yeah.
that resentment. And I
Yeah.
think that's important. It's not just in the morning or at night. It's like maybe
No.
every hour you have to check in. Okay,
Yeah.
what's gone well today? What it's working
Exactly.
today, and
Yeah.
and focusing on that. I think that can start
Yeah.
reshaping your mind when you feel like things are going wrong, and
Yeah.
think about what has gone well.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can get hold of me on pretty much I live on LinkedIn, and that's Dr. Nupi Aurora. Oh no, it's not. It's Dr. Nupi, the glitter practitioner. I changed my thingy-bob recently. And I'm also on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram, all as the glitter practitioner. And please do like and subscribe on my YouTube channel. And we're also on Spotify, both for the Glitter Practitioner show and this show. So do connect with either one of us. Keep connecting. We cross over a lot, Diana and I. And what else was I going to say? Oh, yes. And you'll find me every Monday on LinkedIn, live with the Glitter Practitioner, which is the other show that I host, which is also produced and sponsored by my amazing Mr. Producer, Russ Hedge. So that is at 8 o'clock GMT time, and that is Pacific Standard Time, noon Pacific Standard Time. I got those mixed up. So thank you for joining us. Oh, my last words for people are: own your needs, understand your needs, and own them. And if you're going through feeling overwhelmed, stressed, frazzled, please, please, please know that you are not alone. There are lots of very compassionate, heart-centered people who are there for you. Reach out is my last words.
Absolutely. Thank you, Nubi. We
No
will
problem.
see you in a couple of weeks.
Yeah. Thanks for joining. See you soon. Bye.